Good morning, class, and happy Monday. I don't think that's possible, a happy Monday. Whatever. If you have known me for any personal amount of time, if you've got to know me personally, you will know that I love baseball. It's my favorite sport, and I can talk your ears off about it. And not only do I love baseball, but I am a huge Milwaukee Brewers fan. I attended my first game when I was 6 weeks old. 6 weeks. I don't remember it though. I was probably sleeping the entire time. I've been born and raised to bleed the navy blue and gold by both my mother and her father, who are big Brewers and baseball fans. In fact, my lifelong love for the Milwaukee Brewers turned into a job opportunity when I applied and was accepted for their brew crew. But when I was trying to come up with an idea for this informative speech, I was drawing a blank. What do I write about? What can I inform my classmates of? But I had a eureka moment. When giving an informative speech, it should be something that you know a lot about and that you are interested in. And what do I find more interesting than baseball and the Brewers? So, my speech today is about some of the history of the Milwaukee Brewers. From our humble beginning as a expansion team in Seattle to our multiple MVP award winners, the Brewers in their 51-year history have had their ups and downs, but we are a Cinderella story, so to speak. In order to start this off, I would have to go back to our very beginning as an expansion team called the Seattle Pilots in 1969. You may be asking, who are the Seattle Pilots and what do they have to do with the Milwaukee Brewers? Way back in 1969, the MLB added expansion teams in Kansas City, and they added an expansion team in Seattle to balance out the leagues. After 1 year playing in Seattle, they filed for bankruptcy, allowing Bud Selig, the president and founder of Brewers Incorporated, to buy the team and move them to Milwaukee. He moved them to Milwaukee after the Braves left in 1965, filling that baseball void that Milwaukee had been craving. The purchase took place on April 1st, 1970, which was no April Fool's joke, and the team rushed from spring training in Tempe, Arizona to Milwaukee 4 days later for opening day, April 5th. That was from Tom Harcourt in his newly updated book, 100 Things Brewers Fans Should Know and Do Before They Die. Throughout history, the Milwaukee Brewers haven't had the best track record when it comes to successful teams. Sure, we have our playoff teams in the 80s, our solo World Series appearance in 1982, and our recent stretch of success from 2017 to today. It hasn't all been up though. In 2002, we had a ferocious season where we went 56 and 106. That was also from Tom Harcourt's book. But one of the brightest spots in our history was not a season. It was a singular performance. April 14th, 1987. That was the date where Juan Nieves threw the only no-hitter in Brewers history. The Brewers are in Baltimore on a cold, drizzly night. Harcourt, page 76 from his book. According to Bill Schroeder, former Brewers catcher and current play-by-play man on television, who was behind the plate that night, he said, Juan had trouble getting his other pitches over. By the 5th or 6th inning, we decided to stick with the fastball. He had a pretty good one that night. But how does someone throw a no-hitter against a star-studded Orioles cast that included Cal Ripken Jr. and Eddie Murray when there's only one pitch working for him? The stud defense, that's how. With tons of defensive gems throughout the game, definitely saved hits. But the icing on the cake, the most important play, came as the last one of the game. Eddie Murray, who is a Hall of Famer with a .337 career batting average, He hit a line drive to the gap in right center, therefore making it look like Juan Nieves was destined for the fate that had plagued so many pitchers before, coming 1 out away from a no-hitter. Robin Yount in center field. Ran for the ball, and at the last moment, he had a full stretch dive and caught it, cradled it before it hit the ground, solidifying Juan Nieves' place in Brewers and baseball history. It is the final out of the first and only no-hitter in our history. The last thing I want to cover in the Brewers' history is some of our notable players, more specifically our MVP award winners. Believe it or not, the Brewers have had an MVP player in 5 separate years, meaning about 10% of their existence they have had a MVP. They are Rollie Fingers in 1981, Robin Yount in both 1982 and 1987, Ryan Braun in 2011, and Christian Yelich in 2018. I got that from MLB.com on the Brewers Award Winners page. But along with these MVP awards comes some pretty interesting trivia that might win you a bar trivia competition someday. Did you know that Rollie Fingers also won the Cy Young Award in 1981? Did you know that Robin Yount won his MVP awards at 2 different positions? Shortstop and center field, and he's one of 4 players to win it at multiple positions. Did you know that Christian Yelich was the first player to win MVP with a new team since Josh Donaldson did it in 2015? Did you know the Brewers are one of 2 teams to have MVPs in both leagues? Back in the 80s and I believe 97, we transferred over to the National League. We were in the American League before. The Brewers and the Astros are the only 2 teams with MVPs in both the AL and the NL. There is a lot more to go into in the history of the Brewers, and that would take hours to dive into, which I am happy to talk about. Like the creation of the racing sausages in Bernie Brewer, to the creation of Secret Stadium sauce, to some of our famous coaches like George Bamberger or Harvey Keene. And there's plenty more. But I've narrowed it down to what I believe to be the most important and most intriguing aspects of our history. Our creation / our birth, our only no-hitter, and our MVP winners. I hope this information backs my claim as to why I'm a big Brewers fan and never plan to stray away from the path. Thank you.